by b. Again, I'm not asking you to memorize it. Knowing this much is good enough. But either way, my h value is 1/2. So that means I need to shift to the right 1/2. So now that I have all those points, I'm going to take each of those points and shift them to the right 1/2. And again, if you're asked to do 2 periods, you just keep going with your pattern. You think you're ready to try number 10 by yourself or not? All right, go ahead and try number 10 by yourself. All right, I'm going to start writing, so don't watch if you don't want to see. Okay, there's what 1 period should look like. Huh? How did I get 8? Count by things, you take your period divided by 4. Huh? Yeah. Well, no, the H tells you how far you move it. The count by thing is how I labeled my tick marks. I planned them so they would come out to be the same. major questions. You guys, how do I get the H? With the H, you have to take this and you have to pull out the 3. So then pi over 2 divided by 3. So that's the same thing as pi over 2 times 1/3. So it would be plus pi over 6. All right, any other questions? All right, so I got like 3 more examples, putting more things together. Number 11 should be fairly easy. I just wanted to show you on number 11 how to kind of cheat. How far down should we move that? No. You're thinking too hard. 2. All right, so let's see, it's sine. So this is what sine is supposed to look like, right? You're like, oh, but you didn't draw that in red dotted line. Nope, I didn't. Dang it. Well, let's see. I'm just going to have to make this be -2. And then my amplitude is 3. So what's 3 above -2? 1. So this mark has to be 1. What's 3 below -2? There we go. Now it's right. So I played with my numbers. I played with the way I marked my graph. So whenever we shift this downwards too, I kind of make a new axis. Well, why not make my new axis where my old one was? Nothing says I can't do that. So I just made this line -2. And then my amplitude changes. Instead of going up 1, I'm actually going up 3. So I'm saying that there's 3 marks in between here. So I have -1, 0, 1, -3, -4, -5. As long as everything's labeled correctly, it's good. Who cares where the dark lines are? They're just dark lines. Huh? There's no H. This is K. If it was H, it would be inside parentheses. So be very careful about that. That confusion actually happens a lot between H and K. H will always be grouped inside of parentheses. K will not. Over next to the printer. All right, 2 more. Let's make this more fun. Let's see, I know I'm going to shift it up 2, so I'm just going to go ahead and make this line right here 2. Bless you. Bless you. My amplitude is -1, so that means I'm just going to be counting by 1 still. So this can still be 1 and 3. That's fine. My K is 2, so my whole graph's going to be shifted up 2. Well, I can either make a dot, I can either, kind of make a dotted line and start graphing up here, or I just wanted to keep it on my axis just to make it simpler for me, so I just went ahead and labeled this 2 instead of 0. My amplitude is 1. Now it's -1, which means I'm going to be graphing it upside down, but it's still 1, so that means I can label my marks here, just 1 above and 1 below. What? Yeah. So amplitude is -1, which is technically, amplitude is always positive. Amplitude is still technically 1. K is 2. Let's see, my period is going to be 2 pi divided by 4. So pi over 2. So that means this needs to be pi over 2. Let's see, my count by, yep, pi over 8. Because I need to take pi over 2 divided by 4, which I wrote pi over 2 again. So pi over 8, 2 pi over 8 is pi over 4, then 3 pi over 8. Okay, let's see, my translation. Let's see, if I take out the 4, so if I divide that by 4, I get pi over 8. So that means I'm going to take my graph and shift it over 1 mark. That makes it easy. So my original mark for cosine would be at the top, right? My original mark would be right here. So I need to shift that over. Here, let me write that. My h is pi over 8. So I'm going to shift everything to the right, pi over 8. So my original mark should be here, so I'm going to shift it here. My next mark should be here, so I'm going to shift it here. This mark should be here, so it's going to be here, then here. At this point, I don't even care about shifting. I'm going to just follow my pattern, because I know the pattern that these things follow. Change which numbers? These? Yes, because my period changed. My period changed to pi over 2, so instead of having 2 pi here, I had pi over 2. What? Yes. Oh, shoot, I forgot that. That's right. My amplitude is negative, so those marks aren't even right. Because since my amplitude is negative, that has to be flipped upside down. So this mark needs to be here, this one here, and this one here. Totally forgot about that. So that should be my graph. I should be one of those teachers. Yeah, I knew that. I was just testing you. Okay, one more. Let's try one more. Which numbers? Okay, so we take our period. Our period is 2 pi divided by the number in front of the x. Okay, that gives us the largest number. Okay. Now, we have it split into 4, so we have to figure out what we count by. So we take this number divided by 4. That's what we count by. So since I need an extra one out here once I figure out what I shift by, that's how I get the extra one. I take this and add on another pi over 8. Okay. Then I get the shift by taking this, and the x has to be by itself, so I take a 4 out of each of these, and I get this to get the h. So I shifted over a pi over 8. So I take each of the original points and I move them all over 1 mark, since I'm counting by pi over 8. Okay, you ready to try 13 real quick, and then we'll be done. Okay, so let's see. I have negative 3 is my k. So I'm going to make this negative 3. My amplitude is 2. So I'm going to make this mark here negative 1. I'm going to make this mark down here negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And put this out here. Amplitude was 2. K was negative 3. So, if I wanted to keep up here just to show you where 0 is, this would be 0. So that's my original axis. Okay, period is 2 pi divided by pi over 3. So that's going to be 6. My count by is going to be 6 divided by 4, which is 3/2 or 1.5. Why did my brain just stop? I can't take 3 plus, I know it's 4.5, but I want it as a fraction. 9/2, thank you. My brain just, I can do all the complex graphing of a trig. I just can't turn 4.5 into a fraction for some reason. That's what happens. You get old, you can't do the simple things. The simple things in life just... Okay, I need to know my translation. So take the pi over 3 out, which leaves me 1. Oh, see, I made this hard on myself. That happens sometimes. I actually did that one on purpose. Wanted you to know that it doesn't always fit your graph. That's okay. So I need to move -1 backwards. -1 doesn't fit my spacing or anything else like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of guess. Now it's going to be a little bit over one of my marks. It's going to be somewhere in here, but it needs to be backwards also. So my first mark is going to move someplace in here. My second mark will again move